Om Sri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Brother Julius.
Sai Ram, Brother
Sai Ram,
Julius.
Brother Julius.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Right. Good to be with you all here today. Vishwarupa Sai Krishna. Many continuation is there. I think this continuation is going to turn out quite interesting and funny, I think. This is typically the sweetness of Lord Krishna, always a bit mischievous, but lots of teachings inside. This is the continuation of the dentist story. Okay, so it's really incredible. The first day, remember, we went and I went. I was kind of lost. And I realized that that's the roaming spirits, right? The energy of the roaming spirits, and we managed to transmute it. And the next day was incredible. So much joy. Everything is accomplished. I was chauffeured around, and so many things done. Just one day. Then today, managed to go to the dentist, and guess what happened? My toothache no more before I went to the dentist. So I went to the dentist, and this dentist is very nice, you know, very full of light. Rarely see a dentist full of, I mean, you know, there are a lot of doctors which are very happy, but this is extra happy. You know? And I told her, I said, like, my toothache no more since yesterday. Can you check? So she goes, okay, knock. Okay, pain or not? This one. Tested on those which have no symptoms. And they knocked on that tooth which was having toothache, and there's no, around there's pain, but a bit, very little pain. So I'm like, can you check other tooth also? So I started checking, and it's like, oh my God, this side, there's decay. You need to fill it up, you know, you have to clean this. I said, okay. And then he went around and he said, oh, this one, you know, we can do this. And we ended up cleaning, and 3 fillings and 1 cleaning. And the toothache area, no need to do root canal, no need, nothing. So I feel like, you know, this is also sweetness of the Lord, knowing that I have some problem on the other side before it gets worse, you know, get the warning from this side, which has no problem. And I began to start appreciating this toothache, you know, and I start recognizing that tooth as, you know, an instrument of Vishwarupa Sai Krishna. And I'm very, you know, all of a sudden I start treating it, my tooth, like God. And I really feel so much joy that has happened, you know, recognizing your own tooth as a reflection of God. Now, some of you might think, tooth. Okay, let me tell you, tooth is very important. Do you see what is being left by Buddha, which is so incredible, worshipped and adored in such a way? There's a procession every time it comes out, and you know, there are devotees singing the glories of Buddha, chanting, and while the pagoda that comes out, inside is the tooth. And also relics. Yeah, relics is also an instrument like the tooth, which stores energy, which has very, you know, the nectar, within, is left in the tooth and in the bones. So very nice that Lord Krishna brought me to the dentist. And this is a much overdue, and I would never have done such a thing unless there's a pool like that. There's a story created where I have to go. So this is what I mean by flow, synchronicity, a lot of natural occurrences that makes you do something, but actually it's for another purpose. So we need to be open, I guess. If there's any lesson to learn, is to be open constantly and not be fixed. And in your mind, I got to do a root canal in there. And when something else is being proposed, we shut our mind and we go to another dentist or something like that. So the natural flows are always very incredible. I love following the flow since a very young age. And I really believe in the flow, divine flow. It's not the flow of the senses. It's not the flow of the mind. It is the flow of divinity, of divine presence and divine love. So, and everything went on very well. And I feel that, this is all continuation of Sai Krishna's presence. Always very sweet, always very incredible. Okay, give you all an update of what happened last night after the Sai Kala Bhairav session. As you all know, and as you all have agreed, we will be dealing with a lot of liberation of the souls. Okay. I hope you all are ready for this.
Yes, brother.
Okay. Last night, the main god of hell came. He came in a very auspicious manner. I wouldn't have thought it is possible. I was expecting something else. But when the doors opened, it was full of auspiciousness. So much of formations which are very obvious is from him. Yeah? So immediately, white cloth, long white cloth is laid across the hall. Where did this white cloth come from? It's delivered by Rakshasa. There's one Rakshasa delivered. Okay, I can show you the cloth. Okay, you can see it here. The cloth, it runs all the way. This is, see this white cloth? Is running all the way to the room. Okay, for him to walk. And the white cloth, when it was placed, it was wet white cloth. Okay, this water is from the skies. And then he went into the room where, the downstairs interview room where Phúc looks out. Three of them, Mother Kuan Yin, which has kind of a bit mixed with Mother Kali, Swami Tankimchai, dragon, white dragon, and Varahiyama. Varahiyama was somewhat representing the Dasamavidyas, and then God of Hell was seated there. So all seated in a kind of like a circle. Vishwarupa, Sai Krishna was there, okay, in the middle, illuminating in full incredible love. And immediately there was dances, there was gopis. They were presenting, they were dancing, singing. It was so mesmerizing, and you know, thank God to my habit of reporting, I immediately recorded every moment, every session. I recorded. Okay, so it's all with Brother Chula and all, and it's reported every step of the way. So there was dances. God of Hell was mesmerized, very happy, very thrilled by the entire performance. And then there was a transmutation that happened from his joy. Lord Rudra came through, God of Hell. I don't know how that happened, but he came through, and you could somewhat see Lord Rudra flickering. Suddenly you see Lord Rudra, suddenly you see Rakshasas. And after a while, a devotee of Lord Rudra came and sang for Lord Rudra. That song was so incredible. The way he sang, he really sang to Lord Rudra, pouring his heart out, and he was really calling upon Lord Rudra. And because of that incredible devotion, Lord Rudra came on full and became very obvious. And the Rakshasas at the back, they turned to Rudras. They became Rudras a lot at the back and became Bhairavas. And there were layers and layers of them at the back. Yeah? And that, because of their presence and the presence of Vishwarupa Sai Krishna, there was a huge gathering all around. Yeah? There was all around, even that was reported. And they were all pretty much mesmerized by Vishwarupa Sai Krishna. And when what happened after that, I have to go through recording because I'm so my energy was was totally trying to be in sync as much as possible so that I can capture all the events. What happened after that?
Kali and Gwanin became one.
Kali and yes, Sister Rama was there. How is that? Oh, yes. Now I remember. Sister Rama was there. Sister Rama felt everything that has happened at that time, and she was wondering what's happening. She asked me, so I forwarded to her also the recording, and she immediately recognized what happened. And yes, Kuan Yin and Kali merged. It became one because of the dance, because of the mix. A lot of fusion happened at the time, a lot of merging. So what happened to there's another merging? A few merging happened. What was that?
Yes, Vishnu and Shiva.
Vishnu and Shiva. Vishnu, Vishwarupa Sai Krishna merged with Rudra. So there was a mix and became Vishnu, Shiva, and Ardhanarishwar.
All forms must be one.
And Shiva, male and female. I couldn't figure it out. Is it male or female? So it was very high.
Yeah, told that.
There was a flickering, so I could not figure out what it was, male or female. But before that, the rising, the merging of Rudra and Sai Krishna was very phenomenal. It's very phenomenal. We need to rise our frequency to tap into it again, because it's very high frequency. Yes. So let me share with you the space. Okay.
You told about dancing?
Yes, dancing.
Okay.
Starting.
Oh,
Starting, I was sitting there, but now it's kind of obvious it's flowers on the floor. But when you are looking, this, iPhone has this amazing ability to bring out the light, but it's much darker. So in the darkness, right, you can literally see Ganesha there. Yeah. Then this is where Vishwarupa Sai Krishna is. Standing there. It's the seat. And this is where Puguksa was sitting. Mother Kuan Yin and Mother Kali kind of merged in the middle. And Swami Tankim Chai is on the rocking chair. And at the last is the white dragon. Okay, now, this is where the god of hell was seated. And Rudra came forward. You can see here, these are all generals. This one. These are all generals, actually. This is just a reflection, manifestation on the third dimension of their presence. And there was this cat that has fangs. Sister Rama, could you share your experience, please?
yes. After the session, when you were playing the music, it was like there was so much of joy, and I was like dancing inside, and the Krishna is there, and many like Brindavan. It was he was dancing, and I am also there dancing and feeling that joy, and there was a wave of pleasantness, so much of pleasantness, so much of joy was there all through the music yesterday. And I was like, yeah, whatever may be my situation before, now I am able to see and I'm able to recognize Swami's presence. And I'm very thankful at that moment that, okay, he's there and he's guiding in all phases of our life, and he's holding our hands. So before I was praying only one thing. So there was so much of emotional imbalance, but even in this state, please kindly do not leave me and hold me. And exactly, I was feeling that, and after I was listening the music, I was like, I'm dancing along with, and all that state was transformed into joy. And I'm like, I'm saying this to Brother Julius, and at the same time, he is telling, yeah, there was meeting going on. Do you want to listen? Yes, I told, yes, I'm also feeling the presence very much. And exactly it resembled the same expression what Brother Julius was telling, and I'm, oh my God. Yeah, he's there to hold on, and we need to pray sincerely, and we need to see his presence all through whatever our state of mind or situation. We need to really see he's always there. We need to see his presence. That's what I experienced, and yeah, it was totally so beautiful, the synchronicity. Thank you.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. And we have Sister Sangeeta, right? Saying also in the chat that she was in a dancing mood. Yes, yesterday was a lot of dance, a lot of joy actually. And I'm very thrilled to see God of Hell rejoicing like this, and with so much auspiciousness. It's really it's really something else for me. This look at the seed. The seed has a very nice projection actually. This middle round like an aquarium is a vision into the nether worlds actually. So it was just guided down to that space. And look at the generals. The generals are like Bhairavas. 6, 8, 10. Yeah. So very auspicious. Yeah, all that has happened. Then today, guess what happened? God of Hell brought his devotee. The devotee came into this space. Of course, they are guided in a very, very indirect way. So they don't know, they came with another purpose. But when I discovered and I shared with him about this, he was shocked because he is the president of a Chinese temple for a very long time, and this Chinese temple worships the God of Hell. And he has been bugged by all the members that he should become the next medium for the temple. And he's very afraid because he knows the requirements to reach that stage. You have to pass 7 stages of tests before you can fully embody and be help to be used as an instrument to help people. Okay, but he's very afraid of the 7 tests. He has passed quite a number, and he knows that there are few which he might not pass. So he has rejected this role of being the medium. And when I told him about this, he was shocked. He's like, then he keep telling also, I know he's coming for me, but I've told already, I don't want, So, but I know that he will be coming to this space more and more, and he totally resonated with what's happening here, and he totally understands that this is all a great lila that's happening. So he also mentioned about how God of Hell actually is a very benevolent God. He's the one who governs with righteousness. He's the one that governs with full clarity, fairness, integrity, dignity, divinity. It's very nice that I get to know so much by the devotee himself, because I remember when his commanders came, I was still trying to figure out, how they are, and I'm trying to learn. I want to learn, and there's been reported, submitted here on how they are, and finally the main God came. Yeah. So very incredible, yeah, that we have this. You know, I feel that His presence is also in appreciation of what the monad has been trying to do, liberation of souls, and we are doing it in a very selfless way, and we are doing it in a way where we want to be instruments of the Lord, and we are always there to shower unconditional love to all, despite of the darkness, and we try in every way to follow the ways as taught by the Lord. And I feel that this is a lot of His appreciation of all that's happening, and He's come into this space, yeah, to help facilitate maybe. So very happy that and very glad that you know, He has come in such a graceful way, and we are very happy to be able to facilitate as much as possible. Any questions or sharings?
Sairam, Brother Julius. My God, this video is so strong vibrations. I almost can, I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm like hearing the sound of the Vishnu, not Vishnu, Sivan has this small drum in his hand that it's like a, I don't know what they call that drum that he holds in his hand. You can hear that
Damaru.
sound. Tamaru, yeah, that's right. The sound of the beautiful tamaru is just banging. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then the flute, and oh, if you had not told me about this, I most probably would have just never even realized this much power coming out of this video. Wow, so strong, so beautiful.
Which video, sister?
The one I'm looking at now, this picture, and the picture before that. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, it's very incredible. Just imagine in picture form you can feel. Just imagine you're standing there in no lights. These are all just candle lights actually. And all this dance is happening. How would you feel? Very incredible. I can go into trance.
I see Radha and Krishna. Why is that I keep seeing Radha and Krishna? Oh my God, they're dancing with the rest of them.
Yeah, me too. I can see Radha and Krishna as the main there.
Beautiful.
They are
Yes,
there, up there. Radha Krishna. I can see that also.
the
Yeah.
flute. And
No,
his
no, no,
flute.
no. The
Playing his
earlier
flute.
one.
But no,
This-
the second one.
yeah,
Yeah,
this one, this one.
he's
I
playing
can
his
see Radha Krishna.
Yes, me
so
too.
how beautiful.
I can see
Above
it.
Putlik sound, there is two images, those appearing like Radha Krishna.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
So,
what
brother,
exactly that.
So enchanting.
Brother Julius, so what was the hell God's message was? What was his main agenda for visiting ashram?
I feel that it's a lot to as an expression of appreciation, and also the entire phenomena. As I understand, it was much prophesied even in hell. This unfoldment, they have been looking forward to this happening. You know, being God of hell, they kind of know everything. So they. I feel that this has been destined. It's the will of God, and when they enter into this space, it is with much grandeur. A lot of Bhairavas, a lot of Rakshasas at the back. Yeah, so the gathering all around is very and to see them in such focus and focus on the entire event. You know, it's not like they are distracted or anything like that. They are not distracted at all. They are highly focused group, but they don't have a uniform. All these have been reported. They have swords, they have armors, they have bells. Um, there's mixture, male, female. Crowd is all mixed crowd, and I see that this is all following the gods of hell, god of hell's outing. Well, I am really amazed by this, and I really feel very positive about a lot of things now, as far as liberation of the soul is concerned, because being the god of all the lower realms, and in this space, I feel that there's a lot of incredible potential and opportunities to help this entire transition that's happening worldwide.
Saram Julius. Go ahead, Sister Chitra.
No, I was just saying that I suddenly realized I was watching Devi Durga in her 1,000 hands, and I was like wondering whether I was seeing the same dimension. Is it multi dimensions that I'm looking at? It's like so many in one photograph. I'm getting like, okay, I think it's my logic mind's trying to figure it out now. I should leave it aside. I'll tell my logic mind to get lost for a while. Thank you, Sairam.
It's okay. Actually, it's good. We are using logic now also. We are trying to understanding in the third dimension. So it's true that there is multi-dimension passages. That's what I was saying, that a lot of pictures are now like stargates. You can actually enter into an energy field. And I know that once you enter, it depends on the gods that are in that space. And once the gods are there, they usually illuminate because they come from multi-dimension also. So for us, we have a much higher chance of tapping into our multi-dimensional being. And as the reflection of this multi-dimensional being, if you look at a picture, you start seeing many different dimensions, dancers, Durga, Krishna, Radha. You can see dragons, you can see Chinese gods. You can enter into a lot of space actually. It's so wonderful that right beside Mother Kuan Yin, Swami is just there leaning on the way he leans on, and on the other side is actually a dolphin, a small dolphin there.
But Brother Julius, with so much of high frequency, so much of happening, the energy is there. How did you withhold the whole scenario or the whole space alone?
Yes, I was wondering the same thing.
How
There's so
did
much.
you
And
do
just
that?
I was just imagine what you're standing there, and how did you do it?
Yes, I was having a
Because
question.
just by looking at this, my ears are ringing so tremendously right now. So I can't imagine how did you withhold this.
Yes, that's exactly my question to Brother Anand. He was there because I was feeling it already at the 12 midnight session when I was speaking, because the energy was very incredible. And I told Anand, I said, just like 1 minute before I spoke, I told him, you know what? I have no idea what I'm going to speak. And he says, yes, I know. And when the words came, it was so incredible actually last night, 12 midnight session. There was so much potency in the words and so much clarity and divinity. And then after that, I switched off again and went into a maze space. And it was flickering like that. And I realized that, this is totally Swami's grace and also Swami's way of training me up, that, I maintain and able to continue reporting. I got this reporting pass actually. And this reporting pass has been granted for me for quite a number of dimensions. I remember reporting about this beginning of the year, stating about this pass that has been given. So very amazed myself, that this can happen, because I know the intensity is incredible, and at the same time, I've been given a duty to do. So I naturally pull it out and report, and after report, I go back into the frequencies.
Thank you, Brother Julius. Because of you, brother, I'm so blessed to just be here and feel all these energies. I wouldn't have otherwise have felt at all. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Brother Julius. Thank you.
Thank you for being in this space. Brother Chulan, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was curious earlier. I noticed that yesterday you asked us, "Are you ready to do this work?" And I had a big yes. And with the coming of the God of Hell, I seem to realize that this is maybe a part of me that diving deep is more scary than I realized. And there is a degree of fear. I'm not too sure whether it's coming from judgment or self-judgment or what exactly, but I noticed that there is a degree of fear, a small degree of fear and avoidance. And I was wondering why that is. And secondly, the second part is this, that, the coming of the God of Hell, I think, is a huge thing for us. And will we be working with him for the liberation of more souls, or in a more expanded way? Because the prospect of that seems both possible and also desirable. Sairam.
Yes, surely it's there. His blessings is there. His recognition and his benevolence, his divine presence is incredible. This is incredible blessings actually upon the work and also all of us. The recognition of the lower realms, and to understand how they feel, and to really empathize with what's happening, um, and to walk with them, and to ultimately see God in them. This is a very big breakthrough, because this space of this level of understanding, empathy, and togetherness is very rare. It's very hard to find, actually. Many people try to avoid this kind of confrontation. Um, and it's there. It is in our space, and we cannot deny this, because we feel the possibility of how, certain parts of our life we have also felt that before. We have felt certain times where we have given up all hope, and there's no purpose. You feel like there's no purpose to live also. So those kind of states, we might be just having glimpses, but this energy is there. And for us to recognize it now as a collective energy, and also to recognize that God is also present in this space. And for us to admire and devote ourselves to the Lord in this form, the form of the collective unconscious, it's a very big breakthrough. It's a very big resonance. Yeah? So the recognition has liberated so many. This Shiva consciousness, or Vishwarupa Sai consciousness, Vishwarupa Krishna consciousness, all of them are really coming forth now as Vishwarupa, because Vishwarupa is all forms, including the unconscious. Yeah. So for us to recognize Vishwarupa as complete as this, where the unconscious is also recognized and embraced, we have in a way advanced to a full darshan of the Vishwarupa. So this is very phenomenal for the entire monad. Very, this is my dream actually. Yeah, of all of you having the darshan of the Lord directly. Sorry.
Saram Julius.
Saram.
Saram. Yeah, actually, I have the same feeling as Chulan, when I guess coming from the Chinese background with all the god of hell and something, I actually have a fear in me as to what I'm actually diving into. And with what Sister Vlaka was talking about yesterday, that when we do this work, we'll be attacked. And even when we go to sleep, and if we were to go and do some mission work, we'll be attacked. So it looks like, we'll be attacked whether we are awake or we are asleep. And we always have to call on the protection all the time. So it seems like a very scary space that we are getting into.
Yes, correct. That's why we have been guided in such an incredible way. This question have been brought up before. That when we deal with this, how do we protect ourselves and how do we handle this kind of energy? That's why this entire recognition of who you are is very, very important. That's why I kind of encourage all of you even to go to the extent of putting the profile picture as one of the projections of the Vishwarupa forms. So when you project yourself as one in many ways, in thought, word, and deed, your thoughts is oneness with the Vishwarupa, and then your words, as in we affirm and we also do the mantras, we chant, and these are all affirmations. And thirdly, we have deed, which is could be also the profile pictures or even print or having a picture of your projection of the Vishwarupa, maybe in your altar room. Yeah. So these are all very, very clear signs that we are actually in the space of Vishwarupa. We have manifested in three forms for us. The first as Vishwarupa Satisai, and then Vishwarupa Premasai, and now Vishwarupa Sai Krishna. Sai Krishna is actually the Mahavishnu himself. He is the one that will for all the incarnations, that is to when he comes on to the earth, and we are to become one, totally, completely with him. Yeah. So when we are one with him, the projection that comes through, everything that happens is from him. And we are to live it in every way we can, using all our five senses, seeing him, hearing his frequencies, verbalizing him, walking with him, and even breathing through him. Yeah. So this is it requires, in a way, a deep level of meditation and focus. And with this energy coming through you, that is enough protection. There is no longer any need for any other protection other than this. This is him doing. So when you have this level of clarity, as we become instrument of his, there is already incredible amount of energy that is coming forth It has this energy that comes forth, has the power to transmute, has the power to liberate, has the power to free a lot of souls and also illuminate the dark. So our mission to the darker side is actually very far down. Yeah, I remember in quantum ascension where we started on ascension process. There was a lot of ascension, but due to karmic pulls and gravity and also lower energies, there are people who drop off the craft. And I was somehow designated with that role of looking after these people who dropped out of the craft. Sister Vladka is very aware of this, and he knows that I'm playing this. She knows that I'm playing this role. So there have been quite a few events of diving into the dark, and of course there are many times which the monad also kind of helped and followed. But I noticed that the monad and many of the members, they can only dive up to certain level, which is totally fine. And they will stay in that level, and those who can dive further, they will dive further. And I would just continue to dive as per, because I see Swami's feet. That is my main goal and purpose. So I just follow the feet, and I discovered Sai Kalabhaira's feet also. So along the way, with all these God's presence and incredible blessings, we are able to dive into very deep space. Yeah. In this space, I totally recognize that God is present, because in dark space, this is the most obvious actually, because you can't see anything except Him. His consciousness is there. There's only one consciousness. Many call it Shiva consciousness, and also Krishna consciousness and Buddha consciousness. In all consciousnesses, Vishwarupa is all one. Yeah. So if it's all one, even in hell, Shiva is there. And for us to be able to recognize Shiva, which now I understand much more why there are so many temples, Indian temples, which are full of rakshasas all around. And there's swords and blood and heads, skulls. This totally makes sense now for me, that, you know, we can even recognize God in this, and we can carry out activities. For example, Tarpanam, is prayers, ceremonies, rituals, even bhajans, and singing and dances in this space. So this is now a clear breakthrough that we are having. God of Hell is also like that. Yeah? Now, I understand your fear as how we have been exposed to the gods of hell in many Chinese temples, how they are. But I guess we should actually try to understand deeper into these temples. The one that came today is actually the president of a Chinese temple, which specialize in worshipping God of Hell. And they are a very service-oriented group. And I know that they are very deep in it. They go into trance, and they go into a lot of incredible ceremonies. And this president that came, he is one of those whom all members has been bugging him to take on the role to act as a medium for this God. And for him to be pulled into this space this morning physically, and he recognized this immediately and know that he is one, he has come. Now, from him, I get to discover how great this God is. He is constantly, he's a very fair God. He's a very dharmic God, actually. He is one that makes sure that everyone is treated fairly, all beings in the lower realm. And fairly will include all that has happened in the past and all that will happen in the future of one being. So he even have a group of accountants that keep tracks of all this. So these are a very organized and detailed structure that is coming forth now in clarity for us. And I'm sure that this knowledge will be spread out to a lot of temples around Malaysia. And by the way, if you don't know, the Kawong Ye festival will be celebrated in our Sachit Ananda Ashram, Chitra. So I'm actually going towards that ashram very soon to prepare for the Kawong Ye festival. And this time, when it comes through, it's going to be very different from before. There will be quite a few activities that will come forth, which are very, very incredible. And many of them in the ashram can already feel it, that this energy is coming through. Right? So we are looking at a huge transmutation of energy going to be reflected in the third dimension. People is going to be involved.
I'm having a question, Brother Julius. Actually, what is being attacked? Do we have these emotional imbalances and body pains suddenly? Is that what being attacked? And after, it is only 1 day difference. And when we are doing all these prayers and seeing gods and trusting them and asking them to help, it is disappearing. So what is it actually what you say as being attacked?
Yes, that is a sign of being attacked. And for you to just feel it in the body and contain it and manage it and finally release it is considered a very high level of sensitivity, resonance, energy that is present within you to be able to contain such energies. Yeah. For those who are not so sensitive, this can also lead to some events that happens physically. But we are all able to do this. Yeah, that's one thing I know. All of us have been very much groomed, prepared, and
And basically, I was lucky to have Chinna Masta at that moment. Yeah, Vishwarupa Sai Gayatri is going on. After I woke up, everything is like even I was in this, he is there. And is it linked to our past and the trigger? Will they trigger the past and then will start attacking or something like that?
yes, it's true. There is some part of our life or our past births we would have bumped into this kind of space. Yeah, this is something which is unavoidable. This is something which is part of our soul's journey, which is to explore and experience all dimensions. This
Okay.
Yes, and the synchronicity of this entire unfoldment is so perfect. We were so much with Sai Kala Bhairav. And then after that, the Dasama Vidyas, how we are with the Dasama Vidyas for such a long time. And their incredible grace and and love is already enough protection. There is so much of energy.
Yes, I could feel that relief even in my pains when I am listening to all who are chanting the Kala Bhairava and also the Vishwarupa Gayatri mainly. And I'm silently listening to all, and slowly I'm recovering, and I could able to express even say the words and feel that joy after all our prayers and session. And it's like total transition from one state to another, which I'm seeing for myself.
Can I say something, brother?
Yes, you have to.
Being in group, having such benefits. So all actually helped to experience that presence, not only my vision or the prayer, but all here in the group helped a lot. Yeah, that's how I want to say.
Yes, definitely. All that is here has helped a lot, because many of you have been guided to be one with the Vishwarupa. A lot of energy has come forth, because when you being one, energy, divine energy actually flows through very incredibly. And when it's directed in such a way where it's very clear the purpose of this entire unfoldment, for Loka Kalyan, for the peace of all, and also liberation of all. The experiences are coming on much faster, and also, the transmutation happens, and also the liberations of ourselves also happens.
Yes, we need to be aware of our states and triggers and work on it, so that the chanting of Lord's name and seeing his presence is incredible way to come out of all this or withstand this energies. That how I am feeling right now. Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah.
Sister Jayanti, you're
Yeah, I feel
it's kind of soft. Can you speak louder?
this oneness group here, our group here, somehow or other, I feel we are all being prepared by Kala Bhairav and also the Dasa Mahavidya. They have prepared us for this manifestation and to come into this particular space to go into the unconscious side. That's what I feel, that they have already prepared us. They have already somehow or other they have mentally, they have prepared us to spiritually, they have prepared us to go into this, to take up this task as oneness, as a group, not individual. That's what I feel.
I kept hearing something like what Sister Jayanti said. I kept hearing we were prepared before birth. Even like we have done this. I'm like this strange information, so I'm like very confused. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry, I just lost the last part. What do you say? The last part?
Yes, she's saying even before birth we are connected, and it is not new like that.
I mean, even for you, I've lost the last part.
I can get messages.
Look at that.
Okay.
I've lost the last part 3 times. See, what I'm not supposed to hear is like that. It will be totally blocked. Okay, so
So that,
on the
Again.
That again, Sister Chitra?
I'm wondering now whether maybe my information was wrong. That's why Brother Julius is not hearing it. That'd be interesting. Sorry, wrong.
that's doubt and should not be there. Doubt is the one which actually go through that Lori Lad's video if possible. That Lori Lad's video is very clear. It's talking about how we can transit into the next dimension and to understand very clearly what dimension it is and how we are the challenges that we might face as we transit. Yeah? That's also the mind. The mind is one factor which is very predominant in the third dimension, and the fourth dimension onwards, it's much lesser of the mind coming in. So we are actually surrendering the mind and plugging on to the mind of God actually. So the mind of God's unfoldment is always much larger, and it takes into consideration many other impressions and information of the past, which is still happening now. Yeah? It's still happening in the cosmos, all the past. So, and of course, this entire manifestation of the past in the cosmos, if you were to really look at it from afar, it is actually the body of God, the dance of God. And we are all inside this dance. We are all part of this entire incredible divine form that is in the cosmos. And we are all acting our part. Now, the Lord wants us to be aware and be conscious of this while living in our body. And this is a really incredible time where we are able to be fully conscious and yet living on the earth. This marks also the shift of the entire planet. Yes, and it's very true what Sister Jayanti says, that we have been prepared for many births to reach this space actually. And you might think otherwise, but the amount of emotions that we have experienced on earth, it's actually phenomenal. Yeah? From the heavenly space, it is very admirable and very much looked upon, whatever that's happening on earth, the wide range of emotions that everyone goes through. The range is actually unfathomable for many in the heavens, because to have such a wide range and yet still be able to feel a balance, strike a balance where you can continue to live on earth despite all the emotions and understanding of it, and for us to have faith in what we do, in ourselves, and also God. It's very phenomenal actually. Great. Any more sharings? We got only 8 minutes.
No sharing from me, Brother Julius, but I just want to say that I'm very keen to see where we are going to develop with this, and the awareness that I'm looking forward to, more awareness coming into my mind from this space, because I think this space is also a part of me, and whatever I feel, there are there are dots here and there within the space that need addressing instead of avoidance. And I look forward to going on this journey where I am experiencing this fear and where I face it and where I'm still in the same space, but but without feeling the fear. Yeah, Sarah.
Brother Julius, are you there?
So sorry, someone came. Yes, yes, we are looking forward to this unfoldment, and I am very happy that so many of you are ready and getting prepared for this. This is definitely an incredible illumination that can happen in the lower dimensions, and this holding on to God consciousness within is very, very great. Mr. Jayanti, you have your mic unmuted.
Yeah. Brother, just one question. While we are in this mission, and let's say one of our member had a small fear in a short period of time, what happens to it?
Okay, this fear is to be transmuted, but before that, it needs to be understood. Just like how we have went through yesterday, where when we're in the dark space, what do we do? All these are recorded now. It's uploaded into the YouTube channel. For those of you who have not subscribed into the YouTube channel, do subscribe so that you can be updated. All the recordings is placed there. We are to first not judge when we are in that space. First, of course, is to recognize who we are. And then second of all is to not judge. Third of all, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. All is one. And we are to see we are to empathize, we are to understand where all these, the dimensions that we are in. And so through the sharings, we are able to illuminate the dimensions together. Yeah, it is not an individual attempt. This is all a group attempt. Yeah? So all of us will share these dimensions, the feelings of it, as just like how I verbalize it, and many others verbalizing it. From this verbalization and also recognition and also seeing God and oneness, entire transmutation has happened. Yeah? So this is a group activity. So do not have any fear. If you have any fear, you can actually shine more light so that you can recognize what fear it is, where is it coming from? Yeah, is it the fear of pain, fear of death? One thing about death, there's no such thing as death. Death is an illusion. Death is because of the body. When there's a change of body, we thought that there's death, but it's not death. It's actually just a change of vehicle, change of the body. So we have to break this kind of illusion and also transmute this energy. Yeah? So it's good to meditate on light so that we can shine more in the dark and able to understand all this much better when there's light. Okay, now one in the chat. I would like to share the last. I watched the information on TV. I was very disturbed by how Taliban will behave, like beating. So I went to meditation with Vishwarupa Sai Krishna. It was of great help. I slept very well. Great. Yes, you see, this is happening already. You are already transmuting for yourself, and for others. Whatever happened outside in around the world is not a part of us. It's not different from us. It is happening as per oneness, as per recognition that we are humanity, and this war, catastrophes, people in need are also us. We can transmute it just like how Sister has expressed it, and this is happening individually for you all also. So it's very incredible, very great that you are also doing it by yourself also. Yeah. So for those of you who still couldn't figure it out, any impressions, you can definitely share it over here, and we will be able to understand it as a group, because in your sharing is very important, as all of us are also illuminating for each other. Yeah. So all right, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so all of you continue to be one with Vishwarupa Sai Krishna, who has illuminated for us, and continue to celebrate, dance, rejoice, and affirm that, you know, we are all part of this entire unfoldment. Om Sri Sai Ram. We will pass on this channel to the next program. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Julius. Sairam.
Sairam, brother, will you pass me the host? Thank you, Brother Julius. Sairam.
Sai Ram is done, Sima.
Thank you. Om Sri Sai Ram. We shall now commence the Rudra Parayana for the Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia region. Om